Hey everybody, it's Seth and Paul from the Learn From Us podcast. Join us for this short video, Paul's update on stocks, the economy, how to be patient, what the hell is going on, and why the markets aren't reflecting the economy. Join us on Learn From Us podcast, which starts right now. Boom, baby. Yes. Paul, tell me about, what week is it, Paul? Tell me about, it's the end of April now, it's April 30th. Tell me about your thoughts about the economy. What the hell is going on here? Because you and I have conversations all the time about the economy, where it's going. I'm confused, you're confused. What are your thoughts? People want to know what you have to say.
Well, it's funny. Everyone's confused. My friends who always thought I was negative Nelly for thinking stocks should be much lower are now like, what is going on here? Like, how are stocks up 30% in the last month when we dropped like 35%? And GDP numbers yesterday were worse than expected, and the stocks were up 2.5%. And we're at 29.40. Well, we were at 29.40. I don't know where we're at right this very second on the S&P. What are we at right now? We are at 29.20. I mean, it's only down 20 points today, not even 1%. And another 3.8 million jobs lost today reported when they were expecting like 3.3 million or something. I mean, this is the typical, bounce back from a massive drop. The same way I thought the massive drop was ridiculous because it just started. My brother and I were talking this morning about how I got out of a first short and almost timed it like completely lucky, like within 100 points at the bottom in March. But it was only because I sat there and said, man, this just keeps going down with no bounce. Like, you don't see this very often. I mean, that doesn't happen. But now we're seeing this. And I'm looking at it going, but literally the economy is shit. Like, we had a huge drop in GDP. We haven't even seen second quarter numbers yet. It's only April 30th. When the second quarter comes out, Seth, how's it going to be not awful?
That's why I called you yesterday, or a couple of days ago, about stocks because I have some money to invest, and I'm like, are we on the up? You've been telling me, like, is it over? Have we bottomed out? Are we going up? And you keep saying no. There's going to be like a second.
We have a lot more to go. Yeah.
But when, Paul? Damn it, when? Because it just seems like I said, the sun is up. Corona cases are down. Ohio's surprisingly starting to open up. Like, why would it? The numbers are out.
This is,
Go ahead.
And by the way, this is my comment to my friends when I said, if this is about Corona, this started when we had like 4 cases of Corona in the U.S. Now we have how many cases in the U.S.?
60,000 deaths. 60,000 deaths.
I think, was that in the U.S. or is that worldwide? That's in the U.S. So it's 1 million cases. Deaths, yeah. It's 1 million cases. And I'm like, so how do we have a 30% rise when Corona caused all this, even though Corona is worse than it was 2 months ago? Seth, who cares when it happens? The point is, you just got to be patient and say, I'm a long-term investor. When stocks go to the price where I can buy at good levels, and by the way, remember, for you and the average person, you should be buying every month no matter what, and as it goes down, you're buying, and as it goes back up, you're buying, etc. But this makes 0 sense, and that's what the emotions in the market are like. Just like someday in the future, stocks will be so low that it makes no sense. And I'll be like, guys, if you buy today, in the next 10 years, you're going to make a lot of money. But Paul, when? In the next 10 years? I don't know when. But at some point in the next 10 years, you will make a lot of money. And that's the point of it all.
See, I keep saying, like, is there a million unemployed in Ohio alone? I think Ohio has, 11 or 13 million people. 1 million unemployed in
11.5 million.
1 million unemployed, but it doesn't seem like.
Where'd you read that?
I just heard it on the radio today. Am I wrong? Look it up. But regardless,
I don't know.
Regardless, the point is, it seems like the market doesn't care, or at least what's happening is not a.
Why doesn't it care?
I don't. Well, you tell me, baby. I'm the dummy here.
I don't know. I have no clue. That's the point. It makes no sense.
I keep texting you, Tesla. What is Tesla at today? 800 now? I mean, it just keeps going.
Oh, it's higher than that, I think.
And now, like I said, the fanboys, which again, I have one parked in my garage. Like, I used to be the ultimate Tesla fanboy, but here's what I want. But we'll get into that stock. But just in general, like, I don't see how one of our I always say dear, one of our friends, Mo, who analyzes stocks top to bottom all day long, got us into some USO stock that has since completely bombed. Goodyear went down 14% today. But I mean, and in general, things are on the up and up, and I just can't figure it out. When is it gonna? I can't be patient, Paul. I can't be patient. What should I do?
I know. Listen, the patience factor is the hardest thing, and don't get me wrong. I get sucked into the hard. It's hard to be patient for me too at times. It's every day I have these conversations with my brother about on the real estate side. Like, we got to go be more aggressive. We got to be more aggressive. But even the bankers tell us on the real estate side, oh, we're 3 or 6 months out from real estate taking its hit. It's just, listen, I hate to sound like a broken record, and I always have for the last 4 or 5 years. These things take time. Has it taken longer than I expected? Absolutely. But Seth, you're 38 years old. Are you 39 now?
Yeah.
39. Good Lord, why do you care? You got 30 more years. I mean, just there'll be a good time to buy. And if you want to try to, but remember, when you do start buying again, it's going to go down further probably. So it's going to be hard for you to go, Paul, but these are good values. Why aren't they catching up? I don't know, because the markets are emotional. That's the thing. People are emotional. They see their stocks going down and down and down. Whether it's a good value or not, they still get upset about it. Just like now, when you're buying when it's overvalued, they don't care. They just sit there and say, "Oh, we're back." Matt, my chess coach, said he sent me some Boglehead Vanguard follower people, and some guys were like, "Well, the reason it's up is this is about next year, not this year." And I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. Stocks were overpriced before this, factoring in a perfectly good situation, a perfect situation for the next 40, 50 years. That's not the reason why, because they're factoring next year. It's just euphoria. That's the way it works. Investing is about emotion. Those who can handle their emotion will win. That's it. That's just the end of the day. I mean, analyzing the stock is the easy part. It's the emotion of sitting there saying, I'm okay with the market telling me I'm wrong for a while before I'm right.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's got me baffled. I'm just waiting for this huge bottom so I can buy, and I feel like
you're not going to time the bottom perfectly.
Yeah.
All you have to care about is, are you going to buy at good prices where over the next 10, 12, 15 years you make above average returns? That's all that matters. It'll take patience because most people don't have that, and everybody who says they do probably is the ones that don't have it, which I'm the one that says I have the patience. I probably don't have it. I mean, I do, but obviously, clearly, I've proven in the last 4 or 5 years that I have the patience to wait it out. But man, it's nuts. But this GDP and this economy has no reason to be only down 10% since the all-time high. It doesn't even make sense. With an already overvalued, it was already overvalued to begin with, and it only be down 10 or 11%. That's it to say.
Middle finger to the man.
Yeah.
You along with the economy, you were mentioning that like the bailouts that are going to happen and how it's going to affect. I mean, are we reaching a point? I also see news stories where it just seems like they're not going to let the economy fall. They're going to do things like bailouts and flooding money in to just not let it happen. Are you worried about that on both aspects, and that you can't get in at the right price and we're just kicking the can down the road to pay for it later?
So from a standpoint of stocks, it's been shown in history that when government's trying to intervene with stocks, eventually it doesn't matter. You can't stop the emotion of millions and millions of people selling and getting upset. In terms of private businesses and keeping them afloat, that's totally different. Of course they can intervene. I don't think it's the right idea, but it's going to happen because you better believe whoever's in office, whether it's Trumpster or Biden if he wins in November, there's no way they're going to allow on their watch the U.S. economy to go into depression. I should say there's no way they're going to not put up a fight. Reagan in the early 80s, he came out on TV and said, guys, we're going to do what's right for the U.S. economy. It's going to suck for a while, but we're going to come out better. And we did. And he won in 84 in a landslide victory where he only lost one state. I mean, maybe that's the reason why. I don't know. But he just came out and said, listen, we're going to do what's right for the economy, but it will suck for a while and people will lose their jobs. That's a hard thing to say when you're a new president, and he did it. And, we were coming off the tail end of a terrible economy, massive inflation, a terrible stock market, actually the best time in the history, the second best time in history to buy stocks. And the next 8 years were just booming. The next 18 years were booming. So who knows? But we have to pay our dues at some point, and that might happen 20 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 1 year down the road. I don't know. It's just we can kick the can as further as we long, but it is eventually going to be a judgment day.
I'm just seeing how, going back to the economy and how it's really not being affected, or at least showing up in the way the stocks are performing. You drive around. I went and got coffee today, left the house for the first time in a few days, and you see all these empty parking lots, and it just doesn't feel like it matters. I don't know how it isn't mattering.
Listen, consumer confidence. Go ahead.
Well, I'm also reading reports that some people might actually be hesitant to go back to work because they'll make less money in this slow economy than being unemployed and getting unemployment. What do you think?
It's terrible.
What do you think
it's
about
terrible. Yeah, it's awful.
I know people are rallying to open up the economy, but I just don't know how many people are going to be so willing to just go jump back in.
It really bothers me, because if your comment is, I don't want to work because I make more unemployment, that says more about you as a person. Yes, is the conflict there? Did the government do a bad job of setting that up? Absolutely. But if you're really going to say, I'm not going to go work because I make more money on unemployment, I get that. But it just says a lot about you as a person. Don't ever tell me you're not a freeloader. Don't ever tell me you work hard. Don't ever tell me any of those things. And we're hearing it a lot. And our comment is, those are not Crossroads Group people. If their comment is, well, why should I do that? I can stay home and make more money. Great, stay home and make more money then. And then when you want a job in the future, go find somebody who's okay with that. That just bothers me. That just irks me beyond belief. Irks me beyond belief. Can I share something with you?
Go ahead.
Share my screen. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Look at this right here. One says mortgage applications jumped 12%, showing signs of consumer confidence returning. That was yesterday. 2 days ago, consumer confidence plunges as millions lose jobs. So which one is it?
Yeah, so which one is it? I mean,
it's just so silly to me. Like, every article just says whatever the recent news snippet talks about. And that's all it is. That's everybody. When I hear them, whenever I hear people talk about analysts and what they read in the news, I go, "Oh, that's adorable. You're so cute." Like, people are like, you don't listen to those people? No, they're stupid. They do what's supposed to be told. It's clickbait. It's a more glorified version of clickbait. That's it.
Yeah. Well, so what is your closing argument about the status right now for people like me or for people like you? What should we be doing?
If I thought I was right a year ago, I really think I'm right now, because we don't have the economy to support any sort of optimism. You know what I mean? Again, I know you don't want us to be like, well, I told you so thing, but this is going to end up being bad. Just like stocks had no way of going up 2 months ago, and now they have no way of going down, it'll go down again. My brother, they're saying, like, Paul, this is crazy. Disney stock is at all-time highs or something. Maybe not all-time highs. They shut down their parks. It's 40% of the revenue is gone. And I'm like, okay, Disney will sell Amazon, which has killed it. It will sell at a much lower price, because you're telling me when stocks go, we got to be patient. Never in history have overpriced stocks ever stayed overpriced. Ever.
Never.
I don't remember it. Ever. So Tesla, oh my God, Tesla. I read something yesterday. Somebody sent me something yesterday saying in the new amendment to their 10K, Elon Musk was borrowing against his Tesla stock to go buy more Tesla stock to prop up the price in order to hit his bonus level. That is literally the most dangerous. I actually almost went on LinkedIn yesterday and said, Tesla may be a fraud. I don't think it's a fraud, but the fact that there may be potential hints that Elon Musk is trying to manipulate the price for his own financial benefit, it wouldn't shock me. He got like a multi-billion-dollar payday by hitting the stock at a certain level. I mean, that's crazy.
We'll talk about Tesla in another video.
But it's a sign of the times. Sign of the times.
All right, Paul, thanks for your insights. Subscribe below, guys, on the Learn From Us channel. We're putting videos out every single week. I'd be shocked if this is your first one, but if it is, you'll be getting Paul's insight for the rest of your life, whether you want it or not. And then, if you have questions, comment below, and I'm always here to ask the dummy questions. So, thanks for joining me, Paul. Thanks for the update, and talk to you soon, brother.